did.
coming through here.
You didn't hear me. 60. I need 60.
You didn't tell me. You didn't refer yourself.
I need 60.
I said, hey, you're Mr. And you were,
I was busy. I'll wait with you.
On behalf of Captain Lord, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Command, we welcome you to today's Recruit Graduation Review. I'm Chief Warrant Officer Shepard, the Drill Division Officer. My staff and I are responsible for the organization and the direction of the weekly Recruit Review. Drill Division also instructs the ceremonial units you will see perform today. The recruits assembled have completed recruit training and will soon depart for other naval duties. Following their graduation, they will report to a or apprentice training department for further training, after which they will be ordered to a ship, aircraft squadron, or naval station for duty. As a motivating factor during recruit training, each company, a unit of approximately 70 men, competes with the other companies in the graduating group in the following areas: sharp and seaman-like appearance in both personal appearance and cleanliness of living spaces; team and individual athletics, ranging from swimming to track events; academic achievement; departmental excellence, which is the average of all phases of competitive training. The success of each company is indicated by the flags they carry to signify their areas of excellence. Special recognition is awarded to companies that have consistently demonstrated superior performance in all areas of competitive training by designating their standing in the graduation group. Graduation with honors reflects outstanding competitive achievement, while graduation with distinction is a higher award and indicates superior performance at all times. The company attaining the highest overall average in all areas of competitive training is awarded the title of Color Company. The Color Company will lead the other companies as they pass a review today. Since every man in the fleet must work as part of a cohesive unit, this competitive system enables the new Navy man to learn the need for teamwork and dependence upon one another. The recruit ceremonial units you will see perform today are composed entirely of recruits. These men have utilized their spare time practicing for today's on occasion have performed in the civilian community at parades, banquets, memorial services, and other similar activities. Also performing this afternoon will be the Great Lakes Naval Training Center Band under the direction of musicians First Class Randy Henry. The Naval Training Center Band was formed in 1917 and first directed by Commander John Philip Sousa, who was recalled from retirement to lead that band. This band is the only Navy band in the Midwest and performs throughout the Great Lakes region and each Friday at the Recruit Graduation Review. The petty officers and chief petty officers assembled in front of the commanders of the graduating companies. The company commander is a key man in the life of the recruit and in the organization of Recruit Training Command. He is responsible for the teaching of the individual recruit how to discipline himself and how to carry out the exacting routine of military life and training. He must also serve as counselor, disciplinarian, administrator, and military leader. Above all, he must also show in himself an outstanding example of military appearance, attitude, and behavior. These fleet experienced petty officers selected for this demanding duty are carefully screened by the Chief of Naval Personnel prior to assignment. They then undergo instructor training at a service school command, followed by a special company commander's course here at Recruit Training Command. Early in training, each company commander selects a recruit that has demonstrated leadership ability to take charge of the company in the absence of the company commander. This recruit is designated the Recruit Chief Petty Officer of the company. You will see him lead his company as it passes in review. Introduce the company commanders and their recruit chief petty officers to the graduating companies. As each company and individual is introduced, the competitive flags won by the company and the state flag indicating the home state of the company commander and his recruit chief petty officer will be raised. Please hold your applause until all of these men have been introduced, starting from my right. Company 172, graduating with distinction and designated this week's color commanded by Chief Petty Officer James Sullen from Hardaway, Alabama, and Petty Officer First Class John S. Tullock from St. Louis, Missouri, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Dwayne D. Cordry from Wilmington, Ohio. Company 171, graduating with honors, commanded by Senior Chief Petty Officer Leslie H. Dells from San Rafael, California, and Petty Officer First Class David D. Foster from Rockford, Illinois, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer John H. Kaiser from Ventura, California. Company 173, graduating with distinction, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Miles C. Beasy from Zion, Illinois, and Petty Officer First Class John R. Schaefer from Sacramento, California, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Gary L. Davis from Venice, Illinois. Additionally, Petty Officer Schaefer is the recipient of this week's Distinguished Leadership Award. Company 174, graduating with distinction, commanded by Petty Officer First Class Benjamin F. Threet from Richmond, Virginia, and Petty Officer Second Class Michael P. Gramellini from Providence, Rhode Island, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Keith F. Hubner from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Company 175, graduating with distinction, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Max C. Barnes from Leedsdale, Pennsylvania, and Petty Officer Second Class Harlan M. Green from Albert Lee, New Mexico, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Sergio M. Johnson from Ridgway, Virginia. Company 176, graduating with honors, commanded by Senior Chief Petty Officer Danny H. Danoff from Round Lake Beach, Illinois, and Chief Petty Officer Fred D. Gritton from Kingman, Indiana, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Russell M. Sims from Little Rock, Arkansas. Company 177, graduating with distinction, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Donald E. Vaughn from Tyler, Texas, and Chief Petty Officer Stephen A. Mull from Anderson, South Carolina, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer Michael R. Brevick from Tacoma, Washington. Company 178, graduating with distinction, commanded by Petty Officer First Class Dwight D. Everett from Fairfield, California, and Petty Officer First Class Joseph C. Wallace from Pensacola, Florida, and their recruit Chief Petty Officer George H. Banker from Mobile, Alabama. Company 179, graduating with honors, commanded by Petty Officer First Class Paul Moses from St. Louis, Missouri, and Petty Officer First Class Vicki A. Trimble from Lindenwood, Washington, and their recruit Company 180, graduating with distinction, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Augustine Mendoza from San Antonio, Texas, and Petty Officer First Class Company 924. Graduating with distinction, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Ben F. Machagi from the Republic of the Philippines, and his recruit Chief Petty Officer Don P. Baylor from Los Angeles, California. This company is composed of recruits in the State Flags Unit and the Color Guard. On behalf of the commanding officer and the staff of Recruit Training Command, we congratulate these company commanders and their recruit chief petty officers for a job well done. The unit positioned in front of the drill team is a review commander and his staff. The review commander is Seaman Recruit Timothy J. Cappy from Birmingham, Alabama. To assist in presenting the review, the following actions are requested. Please rise for the arrival honors, which will consist of a reviewing official being piped through a line of side boys, followed by his inspection of the honor guard. When he has been seated on the reviewing stand, the guest may be seated. Visitors are requested to rise when the national colors pass and to remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Members of the armed forces should remain covered during the invocation. When the colors are posted, the guest may be seated. Also, during today's arrival honors for the reviewing official, a 13-gun salute will be fired from a position across the field. Ladies and gentlemen, please take note, the gun salute is quite loud. The review is scheduled to commence in approximately 10 minutes. Once again, welcome aboard.
Rear Admiral John B. Mooney, Jr., United States Navy. The guests may be seated.
southern we go, as off to the southern we go. Sing well and cheerily, heave well and cheerily, heave away cheerily, ho, 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 ho. For gold that we prize and sunnier skies, away to the southern we go, away southern we go. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away.
He was shining his shoes beneath light blue skies, singing boot camp blues with tears in his eyes. I was listening as I lay beneath the evening sun. I remember his story, and this is how it begun in the Navy. You work all day long to earn your meat and gravy. Yeah. Feel last night's sweat and the new morning's heat. Roll out of your bunk with 45s in your sheet. Marching to and fro all day when heat's as hot as it can be. Marching proud but feeling scared because of MED in the Navy. You work all day long to earn your meat and gravy. Ooh, you stand in line to eat the food in the Navy's chow line. As you stare down at your boots that you forgot to shine. Taking time out to eat and to feel your thoughts of the day that just went by and wondering what'll happen next in the Navy. You work all day long to earn your meat and gravy. Now as you listen to the song, you might say, hey, the Navy's not for me, but you can get a better job, benefits and security. Now you might still think that this Navy job is for someone else. Take my advice, join the Navy. You'll be impressed with yourself in the Navy. You work all day long to earn your meat and gravy. In the Navy, you work all day long to earn your meat and gravy. Yeah.
Right flank, hot. Go down, hot. Down to the rear, hot. cover. Hut. Forward. Hut. Number 7. Hut. Formation. Hut. That's right. Hut. Go down. Hut. Star Wars. Formation. Hut. CW. All day. Hut. Suicide. Hut. Recover. TFC. Hut. TFC. Hut. Two stars. Salute. Hut.
Very well done. Thank you. Congratulations.
Forward. Hut.
give the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we are very thankful for these young men who have now arrived at one of the greatest milestones of their naval career. We are especially thankful to their division officers and company commanders who have instilled within them their mark of excellence and who have done a tremendous job in shaping and molding these young men into outstanding sailors of whom their families and their nation can be ever so proud. God, be with these men and their families. Guide and direct them, and continue to bless them in the same manner as you have always blessed America, and that is from sea to shining sea. Amen.
Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arms doth bind the restless wave, who beats the mighty ocean deep, his own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry thee, for those in peril on the sea. Amen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Lord, Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Command. On behalf of Commodore Roberta L. Hazard, Commander of the Naval Training Center, and myself, I welcome you to this afternoon's Recruit Graduation Review. I'd like to pay a very special welcome to the parents, the wives, and the friends of today's graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, today you are visiting the biggest and the best Naval Training Center in the United States. Through this facility pass the finest sailors of any Navy in the world. These proud young men that you see standing before you today are no exception. They're following in the footsteps of over 2 million young Americans who have entered the Navy here at Great Lakes since 1911. During the past 8 weeks of basic training, these young men have learned about the virtues of patriotism, loyalty, self-discipline, respect, responsibility, and teamwork. They've learned about the Navy, and they've learned what the Navy expects of them. They've been exposed to the leadership of our fine, fleet experienced company commanders, leaders who I'm sure they'll never forget. At a time when the Navy is emphasizing tradition and excellence, we're very pleased to say that pride and professionalism starts here. Commodore Hazard, I'm ready to graduate this group of young sailors and send them on to eventually serve in our ships
our aircraft, and our submarines. They've earned the right to be called sailors and to wear the uniform that is known around the world as a symbol for the defense of freedom. We have two special groups with us today whom I would like to introduce. First, we have 48 senior citizens from the Wheaton Park District in Wheaton, Illinois. And secondly, we have 15 members of the Navy League from Glenview Center in Glenview, Illinois. I'd like to welcome one and all aboard. Our guest of honor today is Mr. Jack Miller, President of the Quill Corporation. Mr. Miller, a native of Chicago, received his bachelor's degree in journalism from the University of Illinois in Champaign. Mr. Miller is an example of the American dream. In 1956, at the age of 27, he started the Quill Corporation with a $2,000 loan and a phone that was installed in his father's chicken store. Today, the family business, which includes his two brothers, has become one of the largest office products dealers in the country and employs over 700 people. He is affiliated with many civic and professional organizations. Mr. Miller is currently working with Western Illinois University to promote the free enterprise system to high school students. Additionally, he has previously served as chairman of the Northern Illinois Industrial Association and is active on their board and educational committee. Last year, he was presented the Spirit of Life Award by the City of Hope, and this year he received the Torch of Liberty Award from the Anti-Defamation League. It is a pleasure to have Mr. Miller with us today. Our reviewing officer is Rear Admiral John B. Mooney, Jr., United States Navy Chief of Naval Research. Rear Admiral Mooney, a native of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, received a Bachelor of Science degree from the United States Naval Academy and completed an executive program in national and international security at Harvard University. He is a graduate of the United States Naval Submarine School and holds the distinction as the 5th person in the Navy to qualify as a deep submersion vehicle operator. He was commissioned an ensign upon graduation from the Naval Academy in 1953. His distinguished career includes assignments on board the amphibious transport ship Chilton and the submarines Birdfish, Sarda, and Sea Robin. He also served as officer in charge of the Bathscap Trieste-2, the United States Navy Deep Submergence Group, and as advisor and coordinator of the Deep Submersible Search and Recovery of the hydrogen bomb off of the coast of Spain. He was at the controls of the Trieste-2 when in 1964 it located the hull of the sunken submarine Thresher on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. His commands include the submarine Menhaden, the Naval Station Charleston in South Carolina, and the Naval Training Center in Orlando, Florida. In addition, he has served on the Chief of Naval Operations Deep Submergence Staff as Chief of Staff Officer of Submarine Group 1 and as the Deputy Director of the Deep Submergence Systems Division and Director of the Total Force Planning Division in the Office of the Chief of Naval Personnel. Most recently, he served as the Oceanographer of the Navy. Rear Admiral Mooney assumed his present position in November of 1983. His decorations include 3 Navy Commendation Medals, 3 Meritorious Service Medals, the Legion of Merit, and in 1964, he was awarded the DeMolay Legion of Honor. Welcome aboard, Rear Admiral Mooney. We select from the companies graduating those companies of recruits which have maintained the highest average of efficiency in all aspects of training and designate those companies graduating with distinction. The companies achieving this honor today are Company 172, Company 173, Company 174, Company 175, Company 177, Company 178, Company 180, and Company 924. Congratulations on the job. Well done. Additionally, a company which graduates with distinction and which has attained superior competitive marks above all other companies is awarded the title of Color Company and earns a special flag in recognition of their outstanding performance. The color company of this graduating group is Company 172, located to my far right, commanded by Chief Petty Officer James Sullen and Petty Officer John Tullock. I will now present the color company flag to Chief Sullen. Congratulations again to Company 172. We select for recognition a company commander from those companies assembled who best demonstrates the attributes of personal leadership and the training of the individual recruit. The recipient of the Distinguished Leadership Award for this graduating group is Petty Officer John R. Schaefer, Company Commander of Company 173. Rear Admiral Mooney will now present Petty Officer Schaefer with the Navy Achievement Medal. It is a pleasure to read the following citation. Secretary of the Navy takes pleasure in presenting the Navy Achievement Medal to Machinist Mate First Class John R. Schaefer, United States Navy, for professional achievement in the sustained superior performance of his duties while serving as Company Commander of Recruit Company 173 from 5 June 1985 to 9 August 1985. Petty Officer Schaefer consistently performed in an exemplary and highly professional manner. By obtaining a superior standard of excellence in their training, the recruits of Company 173 have demonstrated their individual potential to succeed in the Navy, which was a direct result of Petty Officer Schaefer's ability to lead and train recruits. Petty Officer Schaefer's exceptional professional ability, his initiative, and loyal dedication to duty reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Navy. Signed for the Secretary of the Navy, Roberta L. Hazard, Commodore, United States Navy. Congratulations on a job well done. The honor of presenting the Captain's Cup for athletic achievement to the company that has attained the highest average during intercompany competition. The winner of this week's cup is Company 172, commanded by Petty Officer Sullen and Petty Officer Tullock. I will now present the Captain's Cup to the athletic Petty Officer of Company 172, Seaman Recruit Charles E. Hamlin from Lindenhurst, Illinois. Congratulations to Company 172. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now present the honorment of the graduating companies of the Recruit Training Command. In order that the ceremony may proceed without interruption, please hold your applause until all of the men have been acknowledged. Seaman Recruit Robert M. Cluff of Company 171 from Waterbury, Nebraska. Seaman Recruit Frederick P. Polchow of Company 172 from Phoenix, Arizona. Seaman Recruit Gary L. Davis of Company 173 from Venice, Illinois. Seaman Recruit Marvin J. Matthias of Company 174 from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Seaman Recruit Michael K. Cox of Company 175 from Flower Mound, Texas. Seaman Recruit William V. Hughes of Company 176 from Helena, Arkansas. Seaman Recruit Philip B. Struby of Company 177 from Fort Worth, Texas is in the stands today because of a recent injury to his foot. Seaman Recruit Anthony L. Drake of Company 178 from Gary, Indiana. Seaman Recruit Robert F. Crowfoot of Company 179 from Kernersville, North Carolina. Seaman Recruit Frank J. Witt, Company 180 from West Hazleton, Pennsylvania. And Seaman Recruit Leaderson McGee II of Company 924 from Malvern, Arkansas. To each honorman goes our traditional naval compliment of well done. Very well, sir. The recipient of the Military Order of the World Wars Award of Merit is Seaman Recruit Peter D. Margella of Company 174 from Mount Vernon, New York. This award is presented for meritorious performance during recruit training. Seaman Recruit Margella's dedication and motivation for his duties resulted in a superior record of excellence in military training. His performance was marked by pride, patriotism, and an impressive potential for leadership in the United States Navy. Seaman Recruit Margella, you are commended for your achievement. Selection for this award of merit. Well done. Displayed outstanding qualities of leadership, best expressing the American spirit of honor, initiative, and loyalty, and having set a high example for his comrade in arms during his training period, Seaman Recruit Anthony K. Camper of Company 179 from Magnolia, Arkansas, has been awarded the Navy League Honor Award. This award is sponsored by the Navy League of the United States of America and is awarded to outstanding recruits selected throughout the Department of the Navy for basic training. Seaman Recruit Camper, for your outstanding performance, I congratulate you. Well done. Seaman Recruit Dwayne D. Cordray of Company 172 from Wilmington, Ohio, is today's recipient of the Navy Club of the United States of America Military Excellence Award. This award is presented to a recruit in the graduating group. Stellar performance in recruit training best exemplifies the qualities of enthusiasm, devotion to duty, professional and academic achievement, military appearance and behavior, self-discipline, and teamwork. Seaman Recruit Cordray, for your outstanding achievement, the Officers and Men of Recruit Training Command congratulate you. Well done. Appropriate to recognize such outstanding individual accomplishments by these young men with a round of 3 cheers. The review commander alternate will now lead all graduating companies in 3 cheers for the honormen and award winners.
Step out! Hooray! Step out! Hooray! Step out!
It is now my pleasure to introduce Rear Admiral Mooney, who will address the graduating companies. Admiral.
Commodore Hazard, Captain Lord, Recruit Training Center staff, graduating recruits, mothers, fathers, relatives, and friends of recruits. I'm honored to be here today and to have this opportunity to be the reviewing officer for this recruit review. This is the second time that I've had the privilege of being the reviewing officer here at Great Lakes. I value this opportunity because it gives me a chance to say a few words to you, the
new sailors of the U.S. Navy and to your loved ones. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This graduation is yet another step, and an important one, in your Navy journey. Becoming a part of the Navy means joining more than 500,000 men and women serving in all corners of the world on nearly 600 ships and 6,000 aircraft, on shore bases and at sea. For the men who complete their 10 weeks of training here today, another milestone has been reached. It's a milestone that will have a profound effect on your lives. You become a part of the finest Navy in the world. You'll contribute your talents, your ingenuity, your imagination, your spirit, and your work to keeping our great Navy and our great country free, just as hundreds of thousands of men and women did that have served in the Navy before you. In turn, the Navy will provide you a home. It will provide you with training, be it in school or on the job. It will provide you with self-esteem and a sense of accomplishment. And above all, it will provide you with the opportunity to serve your country. It is an opportunity that should not be taken lightly. No matter what the reasons were that motivated you to enlist, the fact is that you're an integral and vitally important part of our country's national defense. Without you and other fine people serving in the armed forces, there obviously would be no defense. People are the vital ingredient. Congress can provide us with ships and planes, but without people, they would be useless. You're fortunate to be entering the Navy at this time. You'll be serving in a high-tech Navy, a Navy that is the result of the best scientific and technological talent of our nation. It is a dynamic Navy, which our leaders from the President on down have said without reservation will continue to be the greatest Navy in the world. They've made a commitment to provide you and provide me with the necessary tools to perform our jobs effectively. Each of you will see during your enlistment in the Navy the fruits of this renewed commitment. Navy men and women will be expected to use these tools wisely. You will not be expected to do everything right the first time, but you should never make the same mistake twice. You'll be challenged to do things that you would think impossible. Your role as a professional Navy person is to respond positively and do the best job of which you are capable. If you are sincere in your efforts to get the job done, no one will fault you. Always remember that being in the service actually means the service of your country. Your personal sacrifices will be rewarded in knowledge that you are doing what you are doing will do a long way to keeping our country and the world free. To the loved ones of the recruits, I thank you for your role in making these men the fine people they are. I thank you for the support you've provided during their training, and I urge you to continue that support during their entire Navy career. To the RTC staff, well done. You've cared for these sailors. You've helped mold them. You've watched them blossom. There's a great sense of accomplishment in your work. All of you, the new sailors, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, wives, or sweethearts, are now members of the Navy family. I welcome each of you. I'm proud of all of you, and I wish you Godspeed.